daily scanner. And what this does is that there are actually, 10,000 different stocks that are trading on the US stock exchange. So out of 10,000, if you have some money in the bank and you're thinking, hey, what can I buy today? How would you normally do it? You would look at CNBC, the talking heads are always sort of blowing something up and pulling something down, or you can Google and say, what are people buying? What is trending? But what we do is a little bit different. So we take the entire universe of tradable opportunities and then we run them through what we call the 5-gate protocol. The 5-gate protocol is basically a series of filters. It is 5 different filters that a stock must clear before we surface it to you. So those filters actually cut out all the garbage. There's no other way of saying it. Just removes anything that is not an ideal tradable opportunity. And then it will surface the ones that we think, based on our proprietary algorithm developed over the last 20 years, that these are opportunities you should look at. So on any given day, if you are a short-term trader, you buy something and you're holding it for, a day up to 5 or 7 days, you can look at, 1 hour signals. If you are wanting to buy something and hold it for 30 days, maybe you can look at a 4 hour signal. And then if you're a long-term investor, you want to buy and hold and, pretty much buy it, forget about it for 3 to 6 months or 12 months even, then we have on our platform, we will have opportunities that will surface for a intraday trader who's trading 1 to 3 days, buying something for today and then getting out at a 3, 4, 5% gain within 3 or 4 days. Then we have opportunities for a midterm trader who wants to buy something today and hold on maybe for a month. And then of course the long-term trader, you buy something and you're thinking, hey, this is looking good, I want to hold it for a year. So it will surface opportunities for you. Now, please understand, it will surface way more opportunities than you can ever buy. Every day, if it throws out 5 or 10 signals, you're not buying 5 or 10 stocks, right? We still want you to review the information and then pick the sectors or pick the stocks that you like. So understand very clearly that the decision is yours. It is never something that we are going to say, hey, buy Google today. No. We will just say, Google looks interesting today, Apple looks interesting today, Nvidia looks interesting today, and here's why. And then you decide, hey, this meets my risk threshold, and you will sort of go ahead and buy it. So basically, the scanner will cut out the garbage and hopefully present 5 to 10 great opportunities for you to trade every day. I eat my own cooking. I also will buy something that the scanner throws up, and I always show what I've done on LinkedIn. So if you're interested, find me on LinkedIn, Pranav Sahai on LinkedIn, and you can see, what I've traded for the last sort of 60 days. It'll give you a snapshot. It will show you what was showing on the scanner. Then it will show you, I went and bought the same stock within 5 minutes of it coming on the scanner. And then it will show you, maybe 10, 15 days later when I exited for a profit or a loss, whatever the case may be. But you can then draw a straight line between what was presented on the platform, how I traded it, and then what the end result was. Again, the scanner will surface opportunities, but how you trade it will be totally dependent on what you do. To give you an idea, you and I could buy the same stock and you might make more money because you traded smarter than I do, or you're just luckier than I am. So no two people will ever have the same outcome. So we can't say, hey, he bought Google, he made, 10%, and somebody else bought Google and he made 10%. It could be 5%, it could be 20%. So then sort of there's a lot of variables that come into the picture. So that is how we do the scanner. Now, the most important thing that I can share with you guys is the 5-gate protocol. The conditions every stock must meet before you are presented that stock to review. So what that means in plain English is that, as I mentioned, there's close to 10,000 stocks on the US stock market, tradable opportunities. Our scanner, signal cuts them down to maybe 1,000 tradable opportunities. And then we apply what is called the 5-gate protocol, which is a filter that looks at 4 or 5 different attributes of a stock. And if all of them are clear, that's when we surface it on the platform. So you will never see anything that has not gone through this culling process. It cuts out the things that I would not trade, cuts out the things that we don't want to present to our clients. Where this is easy for you or where this is relevant for you is that if you're a busy person, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or a busy executive, you have $50,000 in your bank account, you want to buy something, you don't know what to buy, you're looking at CNBC for information, you're looking at, let me Google this, you're looking at some other websites, what should I buy, what should I buy? So this will give you an idea of what is sort of even a tradable opportunity. And, we run the 5 filters and I will share the 5 filters with you. The first filter that we sort of run is, where is the stock trading in relation to the 50-day moving average? That's one of the things we look at. Then we will look at the RSI, which is the relative strength index. How strong is the stock at this point between 0 and 100? So typically we're looking for something that is sort of trending in the right direction. Then we are looking at what is called the TTM squeeze. But again, these are all just indicators that tell you what we think is happening with the stock. Either it's going up or it's going down. Then we come back and look at the ATR. We look at and see how volatile is the stock. If you buy something, we want it to jump. We want it to sort of go up or go down, as the case may be. And, the ATR tells us on a daily basis how much it can go up or down. And so there is a certain filter that we use, and that is what is again surfaced to you. And then we also have the relative volume index. So basically, we want to see if there is a lot of smart money backing something. So the volume always increases. That is the first sign that smart money, or the big hedge funds or big players are sort of buying something. They typically, you might have a Goldman or a Morgan Stanley buying for their clients. They are buying millions of dollars worth of stock, and they're pretty smart. So they won't go and put a buy order for 5 million shares of Nvidia on one day. They will stagger it over a month, sometimes even 2 months. But you can see the volume is sort of ticking up, and then somebody's buying, then somebody else will sort of jump in and buy. So it's understanding the volume. So the simplest answer I can give you guys is that it's like feeling the pulse of the market, right? Understanding small things, small nuances that are driving stock prices, because stock prices are not rational. If you're a rational investor, you're going to be broke for the most part. You have to understand what the big money is doing. You have to understand, of course, the fundamentals, but the stock market is not always rational. SpaceX is a clear example, right? It opened at 135. I think last time I checked, it was trading over $200. Now, sure, smart money's piling in. Individual investors like me are piling in. But there's a lot of people who think it's way overpriced. And again, the beauty about the stock market is everybody can take a call one way or the other, and somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. So our goal is to try and surface things that we think are, either going up if we're saying it's going up, or going down if we have a bearish position on it. And then eventually you decide, whether you want to sort of trade that opportunity or not. So that is the 5-gate protocol.